Good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another week of live podcasts and live Facebook. We're happy to have you on with us. So just wait a minute. Good morning, Wendy. First one on, Wendy, this morning that I see anyways. Mike, good morning to you. Here we go. Nellie, good morning. Rosa, nice to have you on with us this morning. Andrea from Niagara Falls. And John from Elgin, Illinois. To our staff, Jeanette, good morning. Good to have you guys on. Cease, how are you? From the Netherlands. Marin, good morning to you. Laurie, good friends. Carrie, good morning. First day of March. Linda and Donna. You guys are great. We much appreciate it. And Jerry, Nouveau Brunswick. And Julie from back in our area. Yolande, good morning to you. Okay, got a big crowd on. I want to do a headline this morning that from a study in November. Bonjour, Diane and Deb. Rebecca, happy March 1st. Yes, Teresa, Jeanette. Good to have you guys on with us. Here's the headline, and Monica from Granby, Quebec. And Jean, I hate to miss anybody, but of course I will. Troy, our good friend from Newfoundland. Francis from Nouveau Brunswick. And Laura from New Liskeard. Claudette. Milika from Stouffville, Ontario. Okay, so listen to this headline, and I'll go in afterwards and say hi to you guys. November 2020 issue of the Journal of Alzheimer's, the most protective food for age-related decline. So, before I say it, according to the article, I want you guys to guess the most protective food against age-related cognitive decline. That's the headline. What is the most protective food according to the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease? What will protect your noggin? What will protect your brain? According to them, according to the study, the most protective food. I'm waiting for the answer. Let's see if anybody pops it up. And according to the always interesting to see steak, Connie says. That would have been my answer. Rita, what do you got to say? Karen? Okay. Coffee? Barbara? I like the way you guys are thinking. But this is a food. But vitamin C is good for your brain. Coffee is good for your brain. Okay? George is saying vitamin C too. Coffee. I like you guys. Diane is saying steak. Patricia, tea? Nah. Why would you drink tea when you can have coffee? And hold on, someone said avocados. No, not what the journal says. DHA, yeah, you know me. Jeanette is saying eggs. And Pamela is saying olive oil and coconut. Oh, good answers, guys. All of them are good answers. Claudette says steak. Connie, you're saying cheese? You're right. Okay, so here's the headline, okay, because they actually gave the answer in the headline, but I wanted you guys to think for a moment. The November issue of the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease says, according to their studies, the most protective food against age-related cognitive decline is cheese. Is cheese. Now, they're saying because it is one of nature's best foods because of its nutrient composition. Cheese. Of course, it's part of the reset. Eggs, meat, and cheese, right? And they're saying, and I like it because they're, because today in society in general, anything from the animal kingdom is sort of being, put out there as not being good for you. And these scientists were not deterred by that. They were looking to see, and it was about an 1,800 person study, what food seems to benefit the brain against age-related cognitive decline. And guys, they came up with an answer: cheese. Now, like I told you, and we'll talk about some of the best foods and why. We'll give you the why. They didn't give the why in the article. They just compared cheese to other foods. And every answer that you guys have given was good. I liked all the answers. You were thinking, some of you were thinking of oil, like avocado. Some of you were thinking of, even olive oil. That answer came up. A lot of you were thinking of coffee, the real vitamin C, which is very good. It's a very important nutrient. Quercetin, powerful antioxidant. Antioxidants, obviously, they protect the cells and the cells in your brain. So you were thinking, good for you. Some of you said DHA. Of course, your brain's made up of DHA, omega-3. Absolutely. You guys are thinkers. I love it. Okay, so they didn't say why, they just said cheese seems to be the best. You know me, I've always told you to eat cheese. And cheese is a perfect combination, really is, of fat and protein. Of course, we've talked about the vitamin content, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that. The vitamin, when you think of cheese, you should automatically think of a vitamin that takes away. So cheese has got a lot of calcium. Everybody knows that. And let me just say this. Calcium's important for you. Okay? It's important for bones, important for your nerves, it's important for your cells. Calcium's really important. I'm not big on taking a calcium supplement. I want you to eat your calcium, but you see, look at nature. Look what God has given in cheese. Calcium. And then he gave us a delivery mechanism of that calcium that's in cheese to put it where it belongs. You see, calcium does not belong in your bloodstream. Vitamin K2, and you guys know this, vitamin K2, the highest source of vitamin K2 is found in cheese, curds. It's found, vitamin K2 comes from the animal kingdom. It's not in plants. K1 is in plants. But K2 is the one that takes your calcium that you're eating, very, very good for you, and put it where it belongs. In your bones, in your teeth. Got it? The delivery mechanism is right in the food. Now we put it in our vitamin D because we want, as you take vitamin D, it helps to build up your calcium levels. But we give it K2 so that we put it into your bones where it belongs. You see, you want to eat your vitamin K2 in cheese. Now, what does that do? What does that do for your brain? So, I don't know if these scientists knew this or not. All they were looking at, they did an observational study and looked at people that ate cheese, and they seemed to do the best. Compared to any other food, they did the best when it came to testing against age-related cognitive decline. You know what happens as people get older? They don't eat as well as they should. And even this article was stating that it doesn't matter how old you are, if you can implement cheese into the diet, it seems to really help. Now, why is that? Why is that? Well, we talked about K2, but let me just give you why it would be very important to, why is K2 important for the brain? K2 in the cheese. Because it takes calcium out of the arteries, even in your brain. You see, one of the things that declines your brain is the circulation in the brain. Remember I was talking to you about last week, we spent about a fair amount of time with insulin and insulin resistance. And we got to do another session on that. Of course, it's a food thing. And I'm a food doctor, so I'm going to talk to you about food. Food. But what K2 does is it keeps your blood vessels from hardening. Because you see, once you have insulin resistance does a couple of bad things. More than a couple, but for the brain. One, insulin elevates inflammation. Inflammation damages one of the first things it does, it damages your blood vessels, and especially your little tiny blood vessels, capillaries and that. It affects the stickiness of your blood vessels. That little layer, the endothelial layer, the Teflon layer in your blood vessels, when you're eating crappy carbs, sugar, very toxic to blood, but insulin that takes sugar out of the bloodstream over a period of time affects the inflammation. Inflammation starts to damage the extra blood supply, the extra enzymes, the extra white blood. So it's all right. If you get kicked in the knee or you have an injury, you want inflammation. If you have a fever, you want inflammation because it's your body's ambulance system, but you don't want it to stay around for a long period of time because then it starts to damage. It's a two-edged sword. Very good, inflammation, very good for you until it's not. And it damages the blood vessels. So that's one way it happens. It damages blood vessels. It's not as sticky. Okay? And then you start to develop plaque. And if you analyze plaque, the way the body heals it, it starts to build, it calcifies. When they look at arteries that are damaged, they're calcified. It's called atherosclerosis. That happens in the brain. All of us have a little bit of atherosclerosis. You just don't want to have lots of it. And the idea is vitamin K2 that you're eating in cheese helps to decalcify your blood vessels, helps them to be more supple, more pliable. That's what you want. That's what you want. You want blood to flow, baby. Not only to your joints and your muscles and your heart, around the heart area and all this and that. You want blood flow to your brain. This is one of the big ways that K2 helps you. Remember what I've called K2? The Rodney Dangerfield of vitamins. Because people don't talk about vitamin K2. We do. But it's an essential vitamin. It's a fat-soluble vitamin. You get it in fat, in cheese, and butter. Yeah, cheese and butter. It's found in the animal kingdom. Not found in the plant kingdom. So when you said avocado oil, yeah, avocado is good for your brain, no doubt. It's oil. It's a good oil. Whenever you have oil, think of lubrication. I don't know much about my car. I really don't. I put gas in it. And I get the oil changed. They tell me to do that. Talk to any mechanic. Get your oil changed. Get your oil changed. Okay. I've got a warranty on my car, and my warranty tells me I better get my oil changed every, I can't remember how many thousand clicks or in Canada or miles in the USA, but you can void your warranty if you don't get enough oil. So those of you who said olive oil, I love olive oil. Bacon, remember, bacon and olive oil are the same. Their benefits are the same because they have oleic acid, which is a fatty acid. It's good for your brain. You like olive oil, I like bacon. I like olive oil too. I do. I've always talked about it. Olive oil is good. It makes your blood vessels more slippery. So some of you said that. A lot of you said steak. Now there is vitamin K2 in steak, just not as much vitamin K2 as there is in cheese and butter. Because you see, there's more calcium in there. There's a lot of calcium in butter. And you see how it's amazing, isn't it? That nature, butter has a lot of calcium, but with vitamin K2, so that it will take that calcium and put it where it belongs. It's contained right in the food itself. perfect. Why do you think I picked it for the reset? It's part of this, part of this. And the research is now proving me to be correct. Now look, if you got trouble digesting cheese, and I get it, look, everybody's different, so understand that, okay? Like some people can't digest. I feel sorry for them. I do. Some people don't do well with cheese. Most people do. I divide dairy because milk and cheese are two different puppies altogether. Milk is, you know me, unless you have a cow in the backyard, I don't like milk. Grocery store milk is something I tell people to avoid, like the plague. It's too sweet. The way your body breaks it down, it's very inflammatory. It's not nature. It's been denatured. Milk has been denatured. Cheese isn't denatured. So there you go. Isn't that great? Okay. So what else is good for your brain? Since we're on the brain, we all already know what we've talked about in cheese. And it's calcium, it's vitamin K2 to keep your blood vessels from hardening. And of course, it's loaded with amino acids, fat. Like I said, it's a great combination of protein. Cheese is very high in protein and fat. So, someone calls you fathead, take it as a compliment, okay? Now let's talk about eggs just for a second, because eggs are very good for the brain, okay? They didn't put their hit parade, but I want to give you my hit parade for the brain, okay? My hit parade for your brain. You want to protect your brain from aging, cognitive decline. You want to keep your brain sharp. So here's, according to them, number one is cheese. I'm not arguing. It's very good. I'm very happy. Number two, eggs. Eggs are great. What is it in eggs? I mean, cholesterol, right? Cheese has cholesterol too. What is it in eggs? Like, if I was to ask you a question, what is it in eggs that really good for the brain? And some of you are already posting cholesterol. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. You guys have got it. Yes? And, again, eggs is a perfect, no carbs, perfect food for your brain. It's good for everything else too. But eggs, cholesterol. Your brain is made up of cholesterol. But there's one amino acid I want to talk to you that's really high in eggs. You know what it's called? Taurine. It's in steak, it's in cheese too. But it had very high levels in eggs. Taurine, L-taurine, an amino acid. Do you know that taurine helps cholesterol, okay? Follow me here. Your liver produces bile. Your gallbladder is a little pouch that stores bile. It doesn't make bile, it stores bile. So when you lose your gallbladder, ladies, mostly women lose their gallbladder because they don't eat enough taurine, because taurine helps your liver produce cholesterol. Now remember, 85% of your cholesterol 85% of your cholesterol comes from your liver. You know my little statements. Somebody posted all my statements. Guys, I'm a repeater. God don't trust you enough to eat enough cholesterol so the body, the liver, makes 85% of it. But you need taurine, L-taurine, to produce cholesterol in the liver, to make bile. Why do you need bile? Bile is really important for digesting fats. That's the problem. Why women, more women than men, they don't eat enough cholesterol, so they don't make enough bile, and bile sits there. It sits in their little pouch. They don't use it. That bile should be emptied all the time. Your gallbladder empties your bile into your gut in order to do a couple of things. But one thing it does, it emulsifies fat and picks up the vitamins from your food. But when, we've been on a 50 to 60 year stupidity. What a failed experiment. Oh, let's eat low fat because fat gives you cholesterol and cholesterol gives you heart disease and makes you fat. Fat makes you fat. 50, 60 years of insanity. And look at the results. And it's hard to undo that, guys. It's hard to get people to undo that in their brain, especially doctors. They're so, it's hard to change that. They don't learn a lot of nutrition. So what happens is, look at that cheese. Cheese can't, limit your cheese because look at the calories. And they almost say it out of the side of their mouth. Calories. Yeah, well, who cares about calories? It ain't calories. Calories is not, it's insulin. How much insulin you're going to produce to eat certain foods. And when you stick to the animal kingdom as much as possible, and I'm not saying don't have any plants from the plant kingdom, I'm not saying that. But don't look for cholesterol in the plant kingdom. It ain't there, babe. It's not. So taurine talked about bile, but taurine is a very important amino acid found in eggs that really helps to regenerate the brain. Where it is specifically important is in your brain cells. Taurine. Not only absorbing the vitamins, making cholesterol, producing bile, but it's also very important as a brain food. Now, eggs have, it's almost nature's perfect food, eggs. And eat the yolk. Oh, when I go to the grocery store and I see egg whites, ooh. You want to give me a headache? Is when people in their basket have egg whites. Oh, I left the yolk. I don't want the yolk. Oh, it's a lie. It ain't true. Oh, I go crazy. Okay? So we talked about, look, there's a lot of things, and I've done a lot of teaching on eggs, cheese, steak, of course, steak. And many of you put down steak. That's because you're listening. That's because you're listening. Vitamin S. Vitamin S. Why? Well, B12. B12 is such an important vitamin. It's only found in red meat. It's only found in steak and hamburger, roast beef, some in pork, lamb. But why is B12 so good? Because when B12 is so essential. B12, good for blood supply, good for nerve supply. Think of that. B12 is good for blood supply because it elevates your nitric oxide. It opens up blood vessels. It's like an explosion. And then you get more blood to the brain. B12, nitric oxide, nitroglycerin, explosion, poo, blood vessels open up. When you eat steak, think of that. I'm eating steak. My blood vessels are opening up. I'm getting more blood supply. That's what B12 does. Plus, B12, nerves don't work properly. See, your brain is made up of how many gazillions of nerve cells that are up there? All those synapses and the electrical grid. Do you know that the electrical grid doesn't work properly without B12? That's why I tell people, don't listen to the nonsense. Vegetarians, vegans. Oh, I can't tell you how dangerous that is. You're playing Russian roulette with your brain. Ooh. Omega-3. High DHA. There's nothing better for the brain than DHA. DHA is only found in the animal kingdom. It's found in fish. It's found in steak. DHA oil. Remember about the oil changes. You want the oil change in your brain? There's no, again, this comes from my grandson's a mechanic, okay? Smart. Tell your kids and grandchildren to go get a trade. My grandson, smart. But he said, Grandpa, okay, he's teaching me, and I'm a slow learner when it comes to mechanics. I know nothing. Gas, oil. Gas, oil. And change the oil. But he said, Grandpa, there are oils that are better than others. Yeah, I said, yeah. He said, yeah. Like there are oils that are so important for your engine, and they are better because they reduce viscosity. Well, I know what viscosity means. Friction. That's the problem in heart when you're dehydrated. A lot of people are dehydrated, and they got thick blood. And you don't want your oil to be too thick in your car. It reduces it because it wears and tears on the engine. He said, Grandpa, when you get a real good oil, it's better than just ordinary oil. I said, I didn't know that. I thought they were just marketing. He said, no, really. Okay. He's a mechanic. He said, Grandpa, it's the same thing in your brain, guys. You want the best oil in the world? It's DHA. The long chain fatty acid. Okay. And there was a couple other things I wanted to talk to you about. But we're out of time. Okay. Okay, guys. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, now, a couple of things, housekeeping. Our private Facebook group, thanks for joining. You know, isn't it interesting when people talk about that community, how they appreciate it, and we appreciate it too. So invite your friends, invite your family, invite people that want to join that private Facebook group, especially if they're going to do the reset. They should do the reset. I can't emphasize it enough. Start everyone with the reset. You want to change your body in 30 days? There's nothing like it, guys. And research is now showing that I'm right. Do the reset. Start with that. Okay? And if you're doing it, you join that private Facebook group. They'll pump up your tires and keep you on the straight and narrow. Okay? So we got lots of good things coming the rest of the week. Stay tuned for that. And we, question and answer Friday. Send in your questions. It's always a lot of fun. We go through that. Okay? Love you guys. And I mean it. Keep the brain going, guys. Eat your cheese. Love you.